Today on the channel, it's Mother's Day, and no better way to celebrate than with a man that said, "Mother, tell your children not to walk my way." That man, Super 7's Glenn Danzig.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Super 7 5 points of articulation action figure unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we're back with a little music flair as we got Samhain and Danzig, of course both Danzig, from Super 7. But for all your Super 7 needs and a whole lot more, make sure you hit up jaystoysandgames.com. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 15% on all in-stock items. Yes! 15%, got to get a deal out there. And Super 7, no stranger to the 5 points of articulation, the He-Man style as it's known in some circles, my circles. But we're not the first time on the channel unboxing the music ones, as we did recently unbox the Lemmy figures that were very similar to this. But now we got two Glenn Danzig figures from two different eras of Glenn Danzig. And wait, there's more. Probably in the future we'll be unboxing the Misfits versions as well. So a lot of these music ones moving their way from reaction to this style and also dabbling in an Ultimate or time or two. But I'm here for more Glenn Danzig figures. I've always enjoyed Danzig, a very controversial guy, of course. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit here in this video. But of course, we're going to do this video like we do all the other videos on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And we're going to go Danzig first, even though the timeline should be Samhain, Samhain. I know somebody's gonna say, "Oh, it's Samhain." Oh my gosh, yeah, it is Samhain, but most people seem to call it Samhain. I don't really care either way, but I guess technically, if you want to be technical, it's Samhain. But we'll get into that one a little bit later, talk a little bit of my history with a little Samhain over the years. But Glenn Danzig, this is where I came into the man, the myth, the legend, just the little guy himself, Glenn Danzig. As I'd heard of the Misfits, maybe, but of course, being a little kid watching MTV, I first heard of Glenn Danzig with the song Mother, and I think that's where a lot of people came into it. And I would say most people in the world, if they had to list a Glenn Danzig song, or they played a song and said, "Who is this?" it would be Mother by Glenn Danzig. And a little known fact, little asterisk, it was my go-to karaoke song back in the day.
But if you want to find hell with me, I can show you what it's like till you're bleeding. Not about to see your light. And if you want to find hell with me,
I'm not even kidding. Pulled a lot of babes with that. Pulled a lot of babes, as you can imagine. But I did. More Historian 11, maybe. Who knows? But Danzig, Mother, an all-time classic. And then, of course, after getting into Danzig around that time as a little kid, I went back, found out about this Misfits, and wait a minute, you connect the dots, you figure out it's the same guy. The rest is history. I've seen Danzig maybe 3 times in concert, and then I saw the original Misfits reunion on the first round, I don't know, 5, 8, 10 years ago, what is time once again, with Danzig, and Danzig's voice was absolutely shot in that concert. That was a rough go for sure for him that night. But I've always enjoyed the Misfits, always enjoyed Danzig. I guess if I had to put it up there, I probably prefer the Misfits a little bit more. We'll talk Samhain, Samhain in a second here, but let's take a look at old Glenn Danzig on this fine Mother's Day. Shout out to mothers everywhere. Shout out to my wife, Angie, as well. But you got Danzig right there at the top. He's got that Crystar logo. Of course, a lot of people always talk about it. Crystar recently got that figure in the last year or so from Marvel Legends. That logo of Danzig came from the Crystar comic, and Danzig, a huge comic guy. Of course, a lot of rumors back in the day he was going to play Wolverine. Never happened, unfortunately. Glenn Danzig, an interesting character if there ever was one, but a very Castle Grayskull kind of background on this one here, which feels a little bit fitting there. Glenn, no shirt needed on this one, of course, back in the day. Then on the back, we got both these figures here being shown. Of course, collect them all. Why wouldn't you, of course? And obviously an easy repaint between the two. Same figures, got to get the most out of your molds. We know how that does. Super 7 doesn't really say anything else on the back here. No details, anything. I do know they had a long time to get these out. It took a long time. I know Super 7 had to really work with Danzig there. and I think is most known in the music industry and so forth. Danzig, not always the easiest guy to work with, I think, as most people do know that. 14 and up, you 13-year-olds, get the heck out of here. You can't handle this. I could handle it, though, when I was like 9 years old, but 13-year-olds aren't built like 9-year-old Kyle. Let's just be honest right there. Plastic prison for old Danzig. Looking pretty good, but Danzig locked down like a Todd McFarlane figure is what he's locked down to here. Todd, what do you think about Glenn Danzig? You a Danzig guy over there? Not really. No, they didn't come to Canada when you were little. Oh, that's too bad. And I think you might be older than Glenn Danzig, Todd. I don't know about this little stuff, but just not a fan of Danzig. You respect him? You respect him. Okay, he respects Glenn Danzig. I guess respect goes a long way, and it's a two-way street, respect, Todd McFarlane. Why can't I get this out of the package? Come on, Glenn. Call him Big Glenn. There we go. He does come with a microphone. Very difficult to get out of the package, but there it is, up high. See you later, goodbye. Twist tie off to the side. Let's get down to business. Let's get down to Glenn Danzig business here on this fine Mother's Day. Shout out to mothers everywhere once again, if you're watching this on Mother's Day when it drops, I guess. But we do got the microphone here looking good. You got the black mic stand here, the silver at the top, the cord going on. One of those accessories you can use with other stuff if you really needed to. Looks good, though. Looks good. Got to get the most out of your molds. You know how that goes. Then we got Glenn Danzig out of the package looking like a young Sheamus. He hasn't seen the sun in years. He's ready to go. He's all Glenn Danzigged out. Got the big old chops there on the side, those big old sideburns looking good. Got the long flowing black hair. I don't know if he's got quite that hair nowadays, but it's, I think, thinning a little bit if I'm not mistaken. But man, he looks good right here, though. This is prime Danzig. I can just see him singing Mother in that video, of course, back in the day. Asking us all why the gods kill. I could just see it. I could see it. Who knows? But looking very good. I do like the head sculpt there. Of course, jacked bigger body here. Fits for Glenn Danzig, of course. Got the black wrist tape, forearm tape, whatever you want to call it. He does got the wolf blood tattoo on the arm over here, looking very good. And then he's got that very rock and roll heavy metal jeans down here in black down to the black boots. Got that Danzig Crystar logo there on the belt. And he does got a chain, of course, around his head. A little upside down cross with the Danzig logo. Always dangerous with those upside down crosses. You just don't want to do it. You just don't want to do it. It's dangerous. See how it worked out for Ozzy back in the day. 2024 Evil Live Records, which I believe is his record company, Super 7 made in China. He does fit on a ringside collectible Mattel stand. So how about that right there, old Glenn Danzig. Not going to walk through articulation. We'll do it with the Samhain version over here. But looking really good. I'm happy to have a Glenn Danzig figure. I'd be okay with an Ultimate Glenn Danzig. I don't know if that's going to be in the cards. But this one, cool for what it is. Looking forward to Samhain Bloody Edition. This is him after a big bloodbath match. But of course, if you guys know Samhain, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the whole catalog has been out of print for like 25 years at this point. Absolutely wild, Glenn Danzig, and some of just the business decisions. I mean, he's a businessman to the end, but sometimes on the surface, or at least me sitting here at this very table, I'm like, what is he doing? And good friend of the channel, Jarvis Leatherby, of course, leader of Night Demon. Oh my gosh, if you don't know Night Demon by now, what are you doing? He's had some interactions with Danzig as well. That's a story for him to tell someday. But he told me some of those way back when. And one day, hopefully, when Night Demon's through my area, we'll get him on the Kyle Peterson podcast. We'll get Jarvis in the house and we'll get that going. That would be a lot of fun if we could do that. Maybe he could tell some Danzig stories from booking Danzig for shows back in the day. But it does say Samhain up top. And as I said, these albums are all out of print. I heard them, I think it was on YouTube or somewhere online, basically, where you could stream them. But man, I remember back in the day, I wanted them on CD so bad I could never get them because I think the ones that they had were super expensive. Long story short, it's like a whole era of Danzig's career that is almost forgotten and talked about, but nobody's ever heard, if that makes sense. So it's very interesting. But of course, very iconic promo images here of him dressed in all the blood and stuff. So cool for what it is. Very similar packaging on this one. Danzig doing Danzig things in the package once again. Same back package over here as well. Same accessories with this one as well. It does say Glenn Danzig Initium? Sure, why not? Samhain right there. I hate it. I hate the word Samhain. Samhain for me. Samhain. See you later. Goodbye. See you later. Up high. Goodbye. Plastic prison. There he is, old Danzig. Looking extra bloody. Pull that out right there. Pull that out right there. Twist ties. See you later, mother. Okay, we'll get him. Oh, can we get him? Maybe. There we go. And there we go. See you later. Goodbye. Same microphone. Makes sense. Got to get the most out of your molds, of course. And got to get the most out of your molds right here with old Danzig, but we get a different head on this one. He's got, what is it? The Devil's Flock, the Devil's Lock? Is that what's called? Devil's Lock. Down the front. Like a young flock of seagulls is what it almost reminds me of. And I believe Glenn Danzig played bass in Flock of Seagulls. Somebody fact check that. Todd McFarlane? Todd's giving me this, but you're giving me the big toe? No, that means you know it's true. What? Mark Summers taking the physical challenge? You said that is not true. Glenn Danzig was not in Flock of Seagulls. Well, I'm going to have to go to Mark on this one. I think Mark is right. I don't think he was. But same hairdo going on. Got the black going on with the red splatter blood all over. Got the blood on the face. Looking very, very good. Looks like he was in a Taipei death match once upon a time with Wing Kanamura, maybe. Who knows? Or Madman Pongo. Who knows what he's been up to? Maybe he did a tour of duty over in Big Japan once upon a time. You never know. But I do like the blood throughout on here. Looking very cool. Now you get the same hands on both of them. One open hand, one closed hand. Head's definitely different. Body the same, except you get the detail on the necklace. You get the detail on the belt over on this one. You don't get that here. Just the straight up black pants on this with a little blood trickling down there. It looks like you had a bad time down here in the crotchal region. Who knows what happened over there. Same white, pasty white against the blood, of course. Got the same tattoo over here. Now articulation. Arms go all the way around on this one. Head back and forth. Waist back and forth. Big old splits, kinda. He could do that Danzig sidekick that he was known for. Of course, he'd give that sidekick like a young Jonathan Brandis once upon a time with Chuck Norris, I believe. I'm not mistaken. Shout out to sidekicks, of course. Black boots down here, but that is really it for the articulation. Legs up and down, of course. 2024 Evil Live Records once again. Very fun, though. Very cool. There's a little bit extra meat on the bone for this one with the new head sculpt and then obviously all the blood. But not too shabby here, old Danzig ×2. Like I said, there is Misfits figures. We will have those on the channel, I'm sure, eventually there. But these are in stock right now, and you can save 15% at jaystoysandgames.com. Why wouldn't you? You got to get a deal all day long. Of course, Danzig's there, but we did unbox Lemmy. Don't forget, that's the must-have. You got to get this one first, then get this stuff. But you got to have Lemmy in the collection. Wouldn't be shocked to see Ghost figures like this as well. It just feels like there's money on the table for that. It would be an easy one for him to do. I could see us getting Ghost figures of these, but I would love a lot of them. Can we get Eddie's from Iron Maiden? Can we get Judas Priest in this style? It's not quite ultimate, but it's on its way. It's on its way, and I'd be here for that all day long and twice on this Mother's Day Sunday. So there it is, Glenn Danzig ×2. What are your guys' thoughts out there? Pick up, pass, long game, no game? Not so sure about Danzig game. And what do you prefer out of the holy trinity of Danzig? Do you like Danzig solo? Do you like Samhain, Samhain? Or you like the Misfits? For me, obviously, I'm going to go Misfits, Danzig, Samhain, Samhain, just because I haven't heard enough of it over the years. It's just not easily at my fingertips like a lot of other things. But that's me. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day, and you can get early access being a YouTube channel member or Patreon member. All kinds of perks over there. Appreciate the support of the channel. Appreciate the support on the brand new podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, every single Tuesday here on YouTube. Audio available wherever you get your podcast. Check it out if you have not already. Give it a 5-star review. You can also check out my new book, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, hardcover, softcover available, or you can order from me. It is the complete guide to the ECW original San Francisco toy makers. I can even send you an autographed copy, so hit me up if that is your thing, and you can hit me up at TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com or SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, and TikTok. So for Glenn Danzig and mothers everywhere, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
We're going to